Hey there folks, I'm Mark from Spectrum Pulse, and today we have From Home Is Where, The Whaler. Yeah, I know, I took way too long to get to this one. In all due fairness, I also missed their critically adored breakthrough in 2021 with I Became Birds, a short but wildly colorful explosion of post-hardcore and Midwestern emo that was pretty good, even if it kind of leaned into the twee side, but never quite stuck as deeply as I was hoping, especially against the influx of competition over the past couple of years. But I'd figure I'd finally get around to this. And okay, I feel like I have to start with a thematic conceit of this album, because if I don't, to a certain demographic, it's gonna overshadow the entire album, and that is, what if the world just kept going on, aging as usual, but it was 9/11 every single day, so the societal weight of that event just piles up over and over again. Now, I would argue it's being used more as metaphor than anything, mostly because the band's younger 9/11 kind of feels more like half-formed hazy memory or even meme than the hard reality of that event. The tone of this album can feel kind of wonky. There's a bit of dissociative detachment balanced out against the very real struggle of continuing to trudge forth underneath the weight of that trauma, and that serves as a pretty biting critique of American resiliency. We should not be getting used to things continuing to get worse. But you know what? Credit to Brandon McDonald's writing. There is this intensely tactile, graphic tangibility to her words, where the blur of trans subtext and howling rage at God has this rawness and swell in the mix of him working with Jack Shirley, the producer behind Death Heaven's run in the 2010s. But then the second half of this album happens, which is a sudden swerve back to the band's old home in Florida, where it tonally gets more southern fried, jangling, and bright, and living amidst that slow motion collapse picks up a different sort of texture, where maybe amidst all the gore and decay, you can still find something, or someone that's worth it all. So okay, in terms of concept, there's a lot of color and intensity that I appreciate, and it helps that the execution delivers this sort of fifth wave emo with a lot more varied instrumentation coming through with the horns, the harmonica, the banjo, the mandolin, even a singing saw and some tape recordings to add a little bit more granular, lived-in, but utterly wild melodic texture. Think something closer to Captain Jazz, a little bit more deep south flavor, although that can also be a bit of a mixed blessing when, despite how bright these melodies are, Home Is Where still only has a passing relationship with hooks, and I don't always think that Brandon McDonald's nasal sung vocals always work for her. Definitely an acquired taste, and I personally prefer more of her visceral screaming. But still, I'm inclined to call this one of the more uniquely potent emo albums you're going to hear this year. And if it's not great, it's really damn close. Be sure to check this out. I think it's special. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more reviews, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to get more albums on my schedule, link to my Patreon's right over there. And as always, I'm Mark, you're watching Spectrum Pulse, and I'll see you next time.